King and Queen. This is not to be confused with Sovereign. I'm using the King and Queen archetype because I wanted to represent both of them together on the which one you sort of resonate with, because they're still kind of on par with the way that I want to describe the aspect of who they are. Because I'm using these archetypes to describe the way that we express ourselves. So I feel the King and Queen archetype is the one that we use to portray the way that we are sharing the things we want in our life. When I look at these as an aspect of ourselves, when we're sitting in these archetypes, as an expressive, what we should be expressing as a king or queen in their full archetype is someone who is creating this world or this environment around them that they believe that they are entitled to, that they hold to, that they want in their existence. You can imagine in king or queen, just like this image, sitting in their seat, sitting in this place of power, sitting in this place of having people around them telling them what you want them to do, creating things that they want to experience, and ruling what they see as their kingdom. So as a lightness, this would be where, and this can be controversial in the way that the king and king archetype type energy sits, is it still full of love for others if it's in a place of authority, because it's in a place that could possibly be perceived as ruthlessness or something where they are only worried about themselves, where they are only creating things that they want to create for themselves. Whereas they may also be perceived as only wanting to do the things that they feel are right for the kingdom, that is going to be right for everything else around them. So when we see this in relationships, in the light sense, this is where we are portraying to other people and to ourselves that this is what I want, this is what I'm getting, that's it. And I'm going to make this happen no matter what. And you are going to either jump on board or we're going to have an issue. Because this would be where in a relationship you are trying to maintain your own type of boundaries and the things that you want to have in your own experience by trying to make sure you get all those pieces that you want. And when you don't get those pieces, when you don't have all those things around you that you believe you need or that you believe you need to have, that's when the issues are going to arrive. Because if you don't know how to fully be able to address those issues in the way that is going to work for you or in a partnership, that's where the problems arise. It's all such a part of our journey to be in that place where we can set our own boundaries and we can create a space where, yes, I want this, yes, I want that. No, I'm not allowing that. Be in that space. But then when it is challenged or when it is contradicted, how are you going to respond? Because if you have not learned how to express yourself, how to communicate, and this is, one of the main reasons why relationships fail is because we don't learn how to communicate. We don't learn how to say to someone, I don't like this, and have that other person not get offended because you've expressed your opinion. Because when you don't like something, it can be so difficult to tell people, I don't like this, and them say, well, and it's only going to end up in two ways of, too bad, this is what I'm doing, or, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, let me change. And that's totally different archetypes and energies. But it's in that communicating, it's in that being able to be in a place where you can communicate when you have those different experiences or areas that are not aligning with you being in your king and king queen or king energy and being able to create that kingdom around you that you want to experience in. And that's going to come down to your boundaries and what you accept as okay. Will you accept a compromise? Will you change something about yourself in order to allow for someone else to express themselves? And that's something that you would have to work out. But that will come down to your communication, because when you're in that deepness and that depth, this darkness of being in these archetypes, that's where you can sort of still sit like in this image of, I am still in my power and I am still holding myself to the standards that I want to be in, the way I want to see everything around me happen and unfold. But I am still allowing this other part of me, this other connection that I brought into my experience to also be able to express themselves. And if I can find a way where I'm still being who I want to be and creating the things I want by changing maybe some of those boundaries or rules, then I am still in this same place of where I was. If, however, that is not aligning with the energy that I want, or the things that I want to create, or the things I want to have or see or feel, I will have to make decisions based on the outcome of the conversations. And this is where you still get that power, being able to say no. We know there's so many relationships that should have been, terminated a long time ago because of whatever issues, but no one was strong enough to say, yeah, this isn't working, or no, I'm not tolerating that anymore. But it's being in that king and queen energy where you can say, nope, this is not working for me. I'm just going to have to call it quits. That's where that deep power lies. That's where that depth of who you are and your understanding and knowing and being in that energy that you want to be, that will allow your relationship and the way you interact with others to really come through in the most king-queen energy type way. And I touched on the energy of this a little bit when I did the dark love video. It's the way that the energy of these two archetypes will bring out those pieces within each other. They will bring out that darkness, that depth of who you are within. Not always, it doesn't have to be horrible and painful, etc. But it will give you that chance to be able to see whatever that issue is, to feel, to experience, and then be able to communicate and come to an outcome. And an outcome doesn't mean, oh yes, we have to come to a compromise and work together towards whatever this outcome is that we want. It can still be that very important decisions to say, no, this isn't working. No, we're not doing this. No, we're not going in the same place. No, this is not acceptable to me. And making that decision, but not creating a space where one is more important or one is better than the other. Just knowing that you are now in this space where you can both bring out the absolute worst, which becomes the absolute best between both of you, because you are in your king and queen energy and you know how to communicate. You know how to stand in your own power and your own being and the way that you want to create the life for yourself and all around.